Hello everyone, this is Jake from Down the Weeaboo Hole, and welcome back to a very spooky episode of the Digimon Files. Halloween is coming up, so I thought it'd be fun if we took a look at one of the creepier episodes in Digimon Adventure. Today, we'll be looking at episode 11, The Dancing Ghost Bakemon, also known as the Dancing Digimon if you're watching the English dub. Devimon has separated the Digidestined across File Island, and the children, along with their partner Digimon, are now surviving on their own. The episode begins with Joe and Gomamon lost at sea. Joe isn't doing so good. He's seasick, Gomamon has eaten all their rations, and they are soon attacked by Ogremon, who was cleverly disguised inside a crate. Gomamon puts up a decent fight against Ogremon by shooting an endless barrage of fish against him. I don't understand why Ogremon is weak to the smell of raw sea fish just because he grew up in the mountains though. Ogremon easily tosses the fish aside and sets his sights on Joe. Gomamon evolves into a Kakumon in order to save his friend, and the two escape, leaving Ogremon to drift alone in his crate. Ikakumon, tired from the battle, reverts back to Gomamon, and the two begin to drown. Luckily, Sora is fishing on an island close by. Gomamon sees the line and ties it around Joe. Sora then reels Joe and Gomamon to shore, saving the duo. While Joe is passed out, Gomamon informs Sora and Bakemon that Joe is becoming more timid, and Gomamon believes if they make Joe the leader of their little group, it will help build up his confidence. Joe then wakes up and everyone informs him that they've chosen him to be their leader. A bell begins to ring and the group notices that there is a church on this island. The group head towards the church and they find a group of people dancing. These people are all wearing masks with human face designs. Joe and the others are found by a priest and are informed that they are witnessing a carnival where these humans give offerings to Bakemon-sama. The group is invited inside the church and the masks begin to shatter, revealing that the humans are actually Bakemon. Who would have thought? Definitely not 6-year-old me. I remember being quite disturbed by these masked Digimon when I was a kid. Those fake smiles always rubbed me the wrong way. Bakemon are based off Obake or Bakemono, which is a class of yokai. Yokai being a group of supernatural entities and spirits from Japanese folklore. Obake means a thing that changes, so these yokai are beings who shapeshift or have a state of transformation. The Bakemon in this episode are disguised as humans, so the name makes sense. The horde of Bakemon chase the group. Bakemon and Gomamon attempt to fight back but are too hungry to put up a challenge. They are captured and tossed into a prison cell. Joe and Sora, on the other hand, are being prepared as offerings to the great Bakemon-sama. Seems Bakemon-sama enjoys salt and pepper on his offerings. Gomamon and Bakemon trick the Bakemon who is guarding their cell. They tell the guard to torture them by eating these really odd-looking purple bananas in front of them. When Bakemon is close enough, the two grab him and beat him up. And then they steal those really odd-looking purple bananas. Those bananas really look like they're rotting. Gomamon also teaches us that Digimon who sleep with a mucus bubble coming out of their nose are easy to fool. This is some deep lore. We then see all the Bakemon fuse together to create Bakemon-sama, and before it's able to eat Joe and Sora, Gomamon and Bakemon digivolve and break out of their cell. They are now ready to face this giant ghost, but it turns out to be quite formidable. Joe wants to help his friends, and this is where there is a difference between the Japanese and English versions of the anime. In the Japanese version, Joe says in order to fight ghosts, you need to chant a sutra praying for God's good grace. Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism all have sutras, which are scriptures that contain aphorisms. Joe's grandmother taught him a sutra to help him do better on exams, so he decides to chant this sutra in order to help fight Bakemon-sama. However, in the English version, Joe mentions that he was watching a show with a Roman physicist who was discussing that by repeating a phrase helps you focus mind over matter. Joe begins to repeat the phrase, Bakemon lose your power, and whoa, Bakemon-sama begins to lose their power. I'm guessing the English version wanted to steer clear of anything to do with religion, or they thought North American children would not be familiar with Eastern religions. Ikakumon and Bergermon then violently blow up Bakemon-sama and the ground begins to crack, revealing a slew of black gears hidden within the island. The black gears all stop moving and the group head towards Infinity Mountain. So that was the episode. Personally, I think the episode still has a spooky aura around it. Those masks the Bakemon wear are still off-putting, and the episode is quite dark with Sora and Joe being prepared as a meal for Bakemon-sama. The episode does a good job at giving Joe some responsibility, and it is thanks to his sutra that the group is able to defeat Bakemon-sama. But what do you think? Did you think this episode was creepy as a kid? Do you still think it's creepy? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching everyone, and happy Halloween.